Hello, I'm Claire Sand, owner of Packaging Technology and Research. I wanted to share with you a little bit about what we do and then how we do it. So let's get started. This is a little bit about me, but basically I'm owner of Packaging Technology and Research, and I'm also an adjunct professor at Michigan State and Cal Poly, also a columnist for Food Technology and Packaging Digest, Plastics Today. So everything I do relates to food packaging and it keeps me super busy and I love it. I'm also on a number of different editorial boards and I'm an editor and an associate editor as well. Last year, I got the Lifetime Achievement Award for food packaging, and that was super exciting and rewarding. My background is in industry as well as academia and also internationally. And this gives me a very interesting perspective because I've actually worked in basic research, but then I've also worked through the whole value chain, I guess you could say, in the industry all the way through to market research. So that gives me a pretty interesting perspective in terms of solving problems for the industry. This is basically what we do. And this whole daisy chain, we focus on basically packaging science and food science solutions to really help our industry. One of the areas that's a particular passion with me is using packaging to prevent food waste. And that's actually why I got into packaging so many years ago. We've been working on a lot of sustainability, more sustainable packaging initiatives. One of the things in the food industry is we need to make sure that we maintain that shelf life. That's very critical for our products so we don't get food waste on the road to more sustainable packaging. We also build a lot up in the upper right-hand corner of innovation roadmaps. And boy, these are fun because they can really help a company guide research and development 3, 5, 10 years out. And this identifies strategic technologies that they need to go forward and either acquire or build internally in order to be competitive in the future. And that's really rewarding. We also do a lot of technology screenings for packaging companies and food companies, and then also investors. And this helps them focus on the right technologies that are really going to make a difference for the industry. We also work a lot on really just infusing technology into a company. And we do this with something that we call technology evaluations. So basically it takes an area like antimicrobial packaging, active packaging, modified atmosphere packaging, intelligent packaging, all sorts of other specific areas like global research, migration, things like that, and really infuse it into a company. So we basically teach them what is happening in the industry now and current information from research to IP and basically where the technology is going and how it can be helpful to them. And that also is super fun. So basically our solutions are tailored to client needs. We do not have anything that's just canned processes and things like that. So each proposal that we write is really tailored to what the client needs. This actually is nice because I like to work on what's really important for the food and packaging industry. By tailoring something, it can save clients money, but it also makes sure that the work that I do is really valued. We also work a lot in the future, and this is really exciting. And so a lot of our solutions are very future-based. I mentioned technology roadmaps, and by focusing on technology roadmaps, we can really chart out a path into the future. Of course, this changes because we have, changes happening in our world. But if you don't have a path, it's hard to get there. So with this, we use a lot of things. We explore the world of AI, have a lot of different packaging trends that are happening now. One of them that's really cool is hack the hack. There's also beta packaging that can actually change after it leaves the manufacturer. And that's a good thing. We spend a lot of time making sure it doesn't change, but making it change can actually add a lot of value. We also have a lot of applied cluster theory and things like that and ways you can work differently with customers. So super fun. This is just a pop out of something that we're working with. And it's an example of how we can really tailor things to help your company. This particular one is called the Save Food Blueprint. And this is basically how we help companies in the food industry really gain consumers with packaging that prevents food waste. And this has been a problem for a long time because when we implement packaging solutions, they're often more that prevent food waste. They're often more expensive, and that needs to be justified in terms of a business case by increased market share. So we start off with selecting a product for focus. So we actually determine how much food waste you have and where packaging can make the most impact in your product. So we look at data, but we also do consumer testing. And then we identify the packaging solutions that can actually make a difference, ones that are ready to be implemented now, ones that can be implemented maybe 3 years out, and some that can be implemented 10 years out. Usually we focus on the close-in ones. Then we do consumer testing with those actual solutions. And by doing that, we discern how to communicate those solutions to consumers. So it's one thing to implement a packaging solution to reduce food waste, fine. But unless you can really communicate that well to consumers, how is it going to increase your market share? And how is it really going to make a difference in the marketplace? So we measure things like willingness to pay. And we also get information from consumers about how we need to communicate it down to the tactical level of the words that are used, the type of haptic feel of the packaging. And so it really is where the rubber hits the road. How to communicate these solutions effectively and how to get market share and gain consumers from packaging solutions to reduce food waste. We also help with the implementation and refining the message. So it's a really neat blend of packaging science and consumer science. These are some of our clients. So basically we work with associations and then we also work in the packaging industry. And then we also work, as I mentioned, in the food industry. These are basically our services in 4 buckets. So we do a lot of strategic consulting. I mentioned technology roadmaps. We also do a lot of work in terms of more sustainable packaging, developing those umbrella things that you've seen, like we can achieve 25% PCR by 2023, something like that. But then we also identify very specific solutions that can be used to switch to. And we work with packaging companies to make sure those solutions are actually viable. And we do that with technical consulting. And then we also work on cost reductions, always important for our industry. The fun thing about cost reductions these days is all the low-lying fruit is gone, right? And so there's a lot of value chain innovation that can be used to really decrease costs through the whole value chain. And we're finding that this is really driving more sustainable packaging, but it's also driving a lot of change in the industry. I mentioned technology evaluations. We have about 10 that we update about every year and a half. And they include e-commerce, very interesting these days, migration, consumer research and sustainability, intelligent packaging, and global research institutes, in addition to more sustainable packaging. I also serve as an expert witness to legal firms. And this is particularly enjoyable because it allows me to delve into the world of intellectual property, patents, and things like that. So thanks for your time. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to talking with you soon.